right, you lot. Get on your bike.
There are ways of travelling further and faster and sometimes far more comfortably, but the bicycle has a lot going for it. It's simple, cheap to run, and it doesn't pollute the environment we live in. And if you ride a bike, it's a good way to exercise and keep healthy. You can also travel further than just down to the local milk bar on your bike, and that's what this program's about. But if you are going to take off into the wide blue yonder on your two-wheeler, there are a few things you need to know. What kind of bike do you need? Is your bike going to be suitable? Could you make a few adjustments to your existing machine to turn it into a tourer? And, if you're keen to save up for a new one, what are the options? This is the type of bike that's been popular for many years as a touring machine. It's the same kind of diamond frame shape that's used for racing. Dropped handlebars, fairly thin tyres, and a gear system that moves the chain to different sprockets, usually with 10 or 12 speed combinations. One of the advantages of these handlebars is that you can hold it in various places. Here, or here for sprinting or powering up hills, or this is a good place. Your fingers can easily reach the brakes. It means that if you're on a long ride, you don't have to stay locked in the same position for a long time. Often these bikes are sold with fairly high gear ratios. If you're buying one, see if you can arrange for a lower gearing suitable for touring. The alternative to the racing type of bike is the all-terrain bike, ATB or mountain bike. It's got a sturdier frame with smaller but wider wheels for rough terrain and a straighter handlebar for better balance. Usually these bikes come with 15 or more gears with quite low ratios for climbing steep slopes. All the equipment on these bikes should be more rugged and designed for the stress of rougher country. If you're in a position to choose between these two styles of machine, the deciding factor is really the kind of terrain you're riding on. For long distance trips on sealed roads, the traditional style bike will be easier to move along. But if tracks through the bush are where you're heading, then go for the mountain bike. With either type of bike, there will be lots of models to choose from. As the prices go up, the main difference will be weight, lighter frames, and lighter, better quality components. It's well worth asking the advice of your local bike shop or experienced friends. And don't be surprised if the flashiest looking machine is not the best choice. Whatever the kind of machine, it's very important that the bike is the right size for you. What size bike do you need? Well, here's an easy way to check. Take off your shoes and straddle the bike. Now, if it's the right size, there should be a 2 centimetre gap between your crutch and the bar. And there is. If it's a mountain bike, then make that 6 centimetres. Next, the bike should be adjusted to fit you. Alter the saddle height so when you sit on it, with your heel of your shoe on the pedal, the leg is straight. Then there are the handlebars. They should be slightly lower than the saddle. When you put your elbow at the front of the saddle, there should be a 2.5 centimetre gap between your fingertips and the handlebars. To get this distance right, you could either bring the saddle forward or back, or get a shorter or longer headstem. If you're getting a new bike, don't ride it for the first time on a long ride. You'll need plenty of time to get used to it, but more about that later. When you read the ads in the bike magazines or wander into a large bike shop, you'll be amazed at just how many accessories are available for cycling. But how many of them do you need? It really depends on the type of trip you're planning. If it's a day tour or a longer trip with a support vehicle, you can get by with a drink bottle called a bidon, pump with the right kind of adapter, toolkit and toe clips. But if you're without vehicle backup for a longer trip, Add a carrier rack, panniers, extra bottle or bidon, spare tube, and possibly a handlebar bag. Here's some tips. Carry your spare tube like this. Go for the larger bidon, the 750mm size. And with toe clips, the good thing about them is that they keep your foot in the right place on the pedal. But when you first start to use them, they could feel a bit strange. Start without using the strap. Then in a week or so, use the strap but keep it loose and finally tighten it. But not so tight that you can't easily pull your shoe out. And while we're talking about accessories, one item that it is worth changing, if you can afford it, is the saddle. This is an anatomic gel saddle, and they're much more comfortable if you're sitting on your bike for days. But don't buy one just before you set out. Get used to it and break it in well before your trip. If there's any possibility of riding at night, you must carry front and rear lights. Battery type lights are best because, unlike dynamo sets, they still work when you stop moving. And then there's the clothes. First and most important, there's the helmet. Make sure that it's the Australian standard approved. Make sure that it's the right size and that it's adjusted correctly and that there's no slack in the strap. And for long rides, it's best if it's light and has a good airflow. With the clothes you wear, the idea is to be seen, so go for bright colours. Cycling gloves are a good idea to help to absorb jarring or road shock. These riding shorts or cycling nicks not only look okay, but they're almost essential for touring. They're padded to prevent chafing, and to get maximum value from them, the idea is to wear them without any underwear. So this means if you go on long rides, you need to wash them every day. Some have got chamois leather, but the synthetic kind dry a lot faster. And carry some kind of lightweight, brightly coloured wind and waterproof jacket with you. Make sure that it's long enough to cover your lower back while you're riding. Bicycles are very efficient machines, and you don't really need special skills to go on long distance rides. But if you're not already doing a lot of riding, a long trip without preparation could give your body an uncomfortable surprise. You just need to work up to it gradually. Then your trip can be fun, not an endurance test. Here's a suggested program. For an extended ride of say 3 days or more, preparation should start 2 to 3 months before your trip. This should consist of riding in different conditions, with distances gradually increasing over the 3 months. Doing these rides, you'll realise that riding places stress on particular muscles, especially knees, legs, shoulders and backs. Here's some exercises that'll help get those muscles into trim. These are stretching exercises to increase your flexibility. Repeat each of them about 3 times. With any of these exercises, if you feel any discomfort or pain, don't continue but seek advice. These exercises are to tone up cycling muscles. Start with 10 repeats of each exercise and then increase the number by 1 each day. And remember, never get onto a bike cold. Stretch before and after. It's also a good idea to keep a record of your training schedule. recording both your target distance for the week and the actual distance you ride. This gives you a goal to aim for and also lets you measure your progress. As well as getting your body ready for the trip, don't forget your equipment. Make sure you check the mechanical condition of your bicycle, including the headset. Put the brakes on and then rock the bike forward and back. There shouldn't be any looseness here. Check the condition of the brake blocks. Make sure they're square to the rim. And the brake adjustment. Now that's too loose. I need to tighten the cable. Check the tyres. Keep them firm. How's the tread? Any bald spots? Look for cuts or bulges. The chain should be clean and lightly oiled. Pedals should spin freely. Make sure the dust covers are in place. Check that the grips on the handlebars are in good condition and that the ends are plugged. Open ends can cause injuries if you come off in an accident. Check the operation of the gears. Check for worn cables and loose fittings. And then check reflectors and lights if they're fitted. You should be capable of your own basic maintenance, such as changing a tyre, repairing a tube, adjusting gears and brakes, and lubricating. But if more involved repairs or adjustments are required, take a machine to a qualified bike mechanic. Well, the bike's in good mechanical condition and the rider is physically fit. But what about the way you ride? It's just as important if you want to stay healthy and enjoy touring. The safest place to ride on the road is about 1 metre from the curb. Cars are less likely to try to squeeze past and it keeps you away from rough road edges. In build-up areas, there's also the danger of cars pulling out from the curb and opening doors. Make sure that you can ride in a straight line, especially when scanning behind, changing gear, and when drinking from a bidon. Practice emergency braking and get the feel for the distance it takes to stop under different conditions. Brake in a straight line, squeeze both levers at the same time, and if you start to skid, ease off both brakes and then apply them again. Keep your weight well back. On long downhill runs, gently apply your brakes so that you don't build up too much speed and lose stability. Take corners with care. Brake before going around the corner, not while turning. And if you are leaning into the corner and freewheeling, keep the inside pedal high so that it doesn't scrape the ground. If you do start to fall, keep your hands on the bars and try to take the fall on the side of your body, not on an outstretched arm or hand. Wet weather increases the hazards of bike riding. Wet brakes take longer to stop. Be especially careful when heavy rain first starts. Roads become slippery and you are likely to be feeling emotionally down. Not a good combination. When it's raining and you think you might need to stop, dry your brakes out by putting them on lightly first. You don't need a licence to ride a bike on the road, but this doesn't mean that you can forget the road laws. Make sure that you're familiar with the relevant traffic laws in your state and check the procedure for giving hand signals. And listening to your favourite group as you ride your bike might seem like a great idea, but you do need your ears open all the time. Apart from riding carefully, you need to learn to ride efficiently. In other words, using the energy available from your body to the best advantage. And if your bike's correctly adjusted, you can increase your power to the pedals by what's called ankling. The toe clips make sure that the foot is in the correct position with the ball of the foot on the pedal. But rather than just pushing the pedals down, try to push them right around in circles with each foot. The rate at which those pedals are turned is also important. It's called cadence. The idea is to maintain a constant cadence while adjusting the gear ratio according to the conditions. It means that the energy that you are transferring to the bike is reasonably constant, although your speed will vary. Another way to ride with maximum efficiency is to take full advantage of riding in a group. Riders behind the leaders get the advantage of the slipstream. They are sort of sucked along. But because of the extra strain on the leaders, you need to practice changing position smoothly. On a call of change, the inside line of riders freewheel, allowing the change to occur. If the traffic is busy or the road narrows, single file is the go. This change also needs to be practiced. When riding in a group, you can very easily come to grief when your wheels clip the wheels of another rider. Never let any part of your front wheel pass the rear wheel of another rider. Always keep alert and constantly scan around. Individually or riding in a group, big hills can be quite a challenge. If you're riding in a group, form single file. It's harder to keep a tight riding pattern when you're coming up a hill. And before you come up a hill, change to a lower gear so you can keep a steady cadence or pedaling rate. And pull on the bars as you apply for power, for extra boosts uphill. And it's okay to walk. You'll still get there. Remember to spread out your energy during the day. Set a steady pace and stop regularly for drinks and snacks. It's your fuel. And in hot weather, start early and stop before the heat of the afternoon. Don't wait until you're thirsty before you drink, and don't wait until you're exhausted before you eat. Well, if you're keen on the idea of taking off on your two-wheeler, where are you heading? One possibility is to join a major organised tour like the Great Victorian Bike Ride. Many people enjoy the larger number of people, with a wide range of ages from the very young to the very old. Also, food and other services are provided. If you do decide to organise your own trip, either with your school or with friends, here are some things to consider. Choose an interesting route with quiet roads. And it's a good idea to have a focus for the trip, a destination, a goal or a theme. Perhaps tour an area with an interesting history. Make sure that the gradients suit the riders who are going on the trip. Plan stopping points so that the group can warm up to longer distances over a couple of days. Don't make the first day a marathon, and allow for the unexpected. Overestimate the time to get to where you are going. You could get to the starting point by car or train. If you are carrying camping gear with you, keep the load as light as possible. If you might not need it, don't take it. And finally, if you're organising your own food, make sure there's plenty of energy food. Fruit like bananas are ideal for snacks along the way, and they're packed in their own environmentally friendly packaging. Complex carbohydrates, pasta, bread, rice, potatoes and cereals are the go for main meals. If you are carrying your food on your bikes, buy it as you need it. You don't need to carry it with you all the way. So what are you waiting for? Get on your bike.